Hello everybody, today I'm going to be reviewing Under the Skin, and I know this came out quite a while ago, but I've gotten a lot of requests, people saying, oh, what are your thoughts on Under the Skin? I'd love to see, your review for it. So I finally saw it, and here's my take on it. The film is about an alien disguised as a human being, and the human being is Scarlett Johansson. And she goes to Scotland trying to entice all these random men to sleep with her, but instead she basically devours them in this very interesting way. So she's a man-eater. Why does she lure these men to their demise? I don't know. Why is she only devouring men rather than women? I don't know. The film does not give you much to go on, much background or anything like that, and I would have liked to have some background to give the story at least some sort of foundation, some basis, but this isn't that kind of movie. This is a movie that is, very kind of stripped down. There's barely any plot. That's basically it. That's the plot, and there's really no characterization or much of it, and it's much more of a concept that is explored through the style of the direction and the imagery. The direction in this film is very well done. It has a very kind of detached and eerie quality that is very reminiscent of Stanley Kubrick. I know I've heard a lot of people mention Stanley Kubrick when they mention this film. It has that same kind of methodical coldness, and it gives everything kind of an unearthly quality. It makes all the people that Scarlett is viewing, through her, her van, just seem very foreign. And I think that's definitely the point, because she is an alien. She is observing the human race from an outsider's perspective. And although she is an alien and everybody else is human, she is still the protagonist and the person that we kind of latch onto and are supposed to relate to. And I actually do like the message of this film. I do like the way it kind of shows humanity in terms of, its superficiality and the loneliness that, how disconnected we have become. Like, the men are interested in her because she's beautiful, but, she is using them as disposable pleasures for whatever reason. So it kind of goes hand in hand. And of course, these men do not realize who she is under the skin. And that's what the film is trying to say, that we are so caught up in the superficiality, the facade of things, rather than really kind of getting to what's underneath and connecting. And that's cool. I mean, especially for a sci-fi film, that's something that's not really explored often. So that's a fantastic concept. But it is just a concept. It's to me, when I watched the film, I felt like I was just kind of watching a really cool premise, an idea that is enhanced with really cool visuals, rather than truly being explored as something that's complex and, really interesting. She keeps picking up these guys, over and over and over again, and it's like, I just got really bored by that, and I get the point of it, the fact that they're supposed to be kind of interchangeable and you're not supposed to recognize their personalities, but there's so much that goes into that sort of thing. There's, there is banter, there is flirtation, and you get very little of that. Somewhat, but not really. And it's like, if you're gonna have a one-night stand, usually you're gonna have a conversation with the person first. But finally, she comes across this man who has a very disfigured face, and she ends up having an actual conversation with him. And this is where I really started to get more invested in the film. I felt this sense of vulnerability from her when she is questioning him, and there's this kind of tenderness and this sympathy that you feel for him and in their interaction. And this is kind of when the shift starts to begin in the story for her. You sense that she's starting to change. She's starting to recognize the emotions in people and the emotions in herself as very real. With that character and with others in the film later on, there's just not much to them beyond that premise. And to me, part of understanding the human condition is being able to be invited in to kind of explore the interactions and the intimacy that goes on. But instead, you just kind of have these outlines, the archetypes that kind of symbolize different versions of people, rather than kind of fleshing them out and exploring them. It's like you've got, oh, here's the trivial guy, oh, here's the sympathetic guy, here's the evil guy, here's the guy you fall in love with. And I just got bored by that. And you're probably thinking, no, this is supposed to be a very abstract film that has very little characterization, a lot like a lot of Stanley Kubrick films. And that's what the imagery is supposed to stand for, to convey those ideas. And yeah, I agree. And I have nothing wrong with abstract ideas or visual films. And I do agree with that on some level, but the imagery just doesn't have that much dimension either. It's just kind of an interpretation of the ideas, and it's not giving us much of that light and shade. Is the film well shot? Absolutely. Does it create an effective tone? Yeah, absolutely. But I just think that the movie thinks it's a lot deeper than it actually is. I think it thinks it's a gender study, but it missed the study part of the gender study. To me, the movie is basically the icing on the cake without the actual cake. So while, you know, that can be enjoyable to a certain extent, you know, it's nice looking, it's neat looking, it wasn't enough for me to recommend. If you like to look at things very visually, then you might find something to admire in this film, but, you know, if you're looking for something that has a lot of gravitas, I would probably skip it. So, I mean, I wanted to like this movie, but unfortunately, I really didn't. So anyway, that is my review. Thank you all for listening. If you would like to follow me on Twitter, the link is below for that. And if you would like to follow me on Facebook, the link is below for that as well. Thank you all for listening.